I'm Van.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Jolpy and Ghosty.
When It Rained by...
Danny Brown.
Danny Brown. The name of the record is The Atrocity Exhibition.
This one is... Luca asked us to do this one. And at first I was like, wait, do you do escape rooms? Because Tom is with Luca. And so I thought, but she's like, no, this is another Luca.
Different Luca.
This is another Luca.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was going to be them.
If you too are interested in having your song reacted to by us, there is a $75 partner tier. Currently it's at $75. We keep talking about upping that, so now's the time if that's what you're interested in doing and you want to get the discounted rate.
The quickest way to do it is to jump on a Patreon tier, Patreon team for an alliance, $1 to gate. The best thing about the alliances, though, I think, is the various communities that have popped up.
They seem like they have fun.
Yeah, there are sub-communities within communities. They all hang out on Discord. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So I commend that to you. For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori.
That's us.
We just recently published the non-controversial Syria video. Okay. So, this is Danny Brown. I've never heard of this band before. I don't know who they are. And the guy's black, so I'm like, is this going to be an R&B song? Which is kind of ignorant of me, but, you know, what can you do? I can say that because I'm black. So, let's see. When It Rained, Danny Brown. Let's do it.
Go.
Have you ever been stiffed at work?
Well, I've never been stiffed at work.
With a back, go dangerous, on that cat, go tracks man, hit it from the back, DJ top, bitch like me bang, Bruce every day, we run that train, put that thing in her combos, only way you hang is where I knows, be where I say ain't no tropes, y'all niggas lame, y'all ain't like that, hang up with a double off, ain't your dash, for that money ain't that we trust, all for victim for greed and lust, when you put the trust when guns gon' bust, living every day like it's the end, just waking up feeling like a sin, gotta keep an eye on all your friends, cause everybody hungry and no streets, nigga rap your grandma for something I ate, know it's fucked up, that's how I be, growing up living every day and a day, and it don't seem like shit gon' change. No time soon in the city of boom. Don't for the time we emerge from the room. So that coach, just we cut sound. Here we go, now here we go. Ain't no wonder how far we gon' grow. Ain't no change, then how we gon' change? No umbrella, we stuck in the rain. Dark line taking all over our head. No shine shining, them shots be lit. Lighting up squares and them dots be red. Make your best friend get shot in the head. Drink. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Get that luck when you hear them gunshots go off. Pop off and those shots go off. Knock off, you try to play me soft. Glock sign on your face, dog. No baseball, better run home. Hit your line, blood on your tongue. Exorcist, show head gets spun. Exodus, I might forget big when it's time for your West we do. You ain't heard it like this before. They don't do it like this no more. They get on that, they get on that, they get on that, pop on the flop. You ain't heard it like this before. They don't do it like this no more. They get on that, they get on that, they get on that, pop on the flop. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Did it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Did it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Time for the percolator, murder music orchestrator, point blank hollow tip circulator. Yo ass like if your own respirator. I'm like Bangarella with that blade. Kid don't play when I catch that fade. Shoot a whole party up with them K. Shot down when we hit the DJ. That Detroit shit, you around disco. Minks and gators, pissed on the disco. Eat crawfish, I fit fist ball. See the road safety, watching the piss. Niggas hit pissed on, no fly sound. Call I go trick when you hit my hound. Beef with him, don't hit my phone. Beat verse, everybody ain't no sound. Coming from the city, where them goes be like. They call slipping, yo West be hurt. That's for certain, yo West be Kirk. Young niggas out there putting that work. I don't use squirt for a pair of joint. Whole damn city probably got a couple warrants. When they come to jail, always stay chronic. Yo, give a fuck, they just gon' pop. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Better duck when you hear them gunshots go off. Pop off when those shots go off. Knock off, you try to play me soft. Glock sign on your face, dog. No baseball, better run home. Better run home like this before. They don't do it like this no more. They get on that, they get on that, they get on that, pop on the flop. You ain't heard it like this before. They don't do it like this no more. They get on that, they get on that, they get on that, pop on the flop. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Did it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Did it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor now.
That's not metal.
That's not metal.
Maybe we can put it out as like a bonus.
So I wasn't ignorant. No, I didn't put it on bonus. It's the underground show. It's underground. I don't care. Underground Napa. 2016?
Yeah. 2016?
Yeah. So this
What?
is... Yeah, it came out in 2016.
It seemed a lot older than that to me.
Well, he did that on purpose. He had that retro video style. Which
Yeah.
Is cool. But I enjoyed the song. The reason I'm saying 2016 is because, you know, all the mumble rap and all the silliness kind of happened around then, and you know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all of mumble rap. I think mumble rap is terrible. But this dude is actually saying something. So this is not mumble rap. Like, he's really saying, he's talking about it. He's talking about being in the hood, growing up, and all that jazz. So, but it's kind of like a lighthearted way of, he's saying stuff in like a, you know, like Ice-T in the Body Count song, Why We Ride. Like, he was being really, he was emoting to the commensurate with the subject matter that he was talking about. Whereas this guy is like, if you didn't really pay attention to the lyrics, it sounds like a party song. But then when you actually really sit and listen to what he's saying, like, he's saying very, very similar stuff to Ice-T, but just with a different kind of, you know, way of going about it. With a bat go dangerous on that cat. Got tracks, man, hit it from the back. DJ assault, bitch, let me bang. Bruiser Brigade, we run that train. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, only way you hang is with a noose. Beef with us, it ain't no truce. Y'all niggas lame, y'all ain't like us, hanging with the devil off angel dust. Straight up, we know ain't dust. For that money in God we trust, all fall victim for greed and lust. Who you supposed to trust when guns gon' bust? Living every day like it's the end, just waking up feeling like a sin. Gotta keep an eye on your friends, cause everybody hungry in them streets.
Yikes.
Nigga rob your grandma for something to eat. Biggie said that one time in the 10 Crack Commandments.
He did?
3, never trust nobody. Your mom's to set that ass up, properly gassed up. Hood lead the masked up. For that fast buck, she be waiting in the bushes to light that ass up. So, it's like, you know, your own family members will betray you. You know, in that song, your own mom would set you up. And in this song, you know, you're ready to go and kill your own grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of a hyperbolic thing to say, you know, because I personally haven't seen that. But it kind of talks about like the.
You haven't?
Nah, I've never seen that where like a parent especially
a parent
especially
sets
a
up the
mom,
kid, yeah.
like a mom or a grandmother like betraying their kid for money. Like, I've never seen that happen.
We saw. Remember that guy that we knew, the one that you would always say, "You're gonna die if you don't stop these drugs."
Yeah.
Like, remember, like his mom, like. Didn't his mom like bring him back home and then kind of get him back hooked on it so he'd start bringing the stuff back in the house?
Yeah, it's not the same thing though. These guys, you know, Biggie was specifically talking about your mom setting you up to steal your drug money, like, you know, shooting you and all that shit.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
But yeah, no time soon in the city of boom. I'm assuming this guy's from Detroit. Doomed from the time we emerged from the womb.
Yikes.
So to cope, drugs we consume.
Yikes.
Here we go now, here we go. Ain't no water, how a flower gonna grow. Ain't no change, then how we gonna change? Smart lines, no umbrella, we stuck in the rain. Dark clouds hanging all over our head. No sunshine in them showers be lead.
Whoa.
Lighting up squares and them dots be red. Now your best friend gets shot in the head. So, like, it's just a lot of the hopelessness that happens in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Which, you put a bunch of people in that situation, man, and they don't have hope or a sense of self, then, you know, they're going to turn to drugs and then they're going to turn on each other. Because what people don't realize is that when powerless people are put in a situation, then they go after each other in order to exert some control so that they can feel like they have some sort of autonomy in their life.
Right.
So, yeah, condition in the ghetto is crazy, which, you know, at the time, I was not very understanding of my people. when I was in the middle of it, I was not very understanding of all that. Because remember, I wasn't born and raised in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom gave us a very, very strong sense of self, like
Yeah.
who we were as people and who we are as black men and yada, yada, yada. And so I had a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
So being in that environment, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like, this is crazy.
Oh, I guess that would be really crazy to see that.
Yeah, it was extremely frustrating, especially, you know, when I was in Florida, there was like racial tension, so a lot of it was like on racial lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we had Southwest Junior High School, and that's where there were more whites than blacks, and then you had Stone High School, and Stone was more black than white.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where a lot of the conflicts were, and there was some sort of unity among, because it was on racial lines.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was at like the height of my Pan-Africanism, and I was reading Garvey, and I was reading Alex Haley, and I was listening to Malcolm, and da-da-da-da-da. My stepdad had a bunch of Farrakhan stuff, so I was like, yeah.
So you were how old at that point?
9, 10, 11.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, you know, Farrakhan and all this, I'm like, yeah. And so, like, I was all this Pan-African stuff, and then I went to New York, and all these black people killing each other and all that. I'm like, yo, what in the world? What is happening?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, you know. So I really resented folks in the ghetto. You know, I didn't have the understanding that, yeah, if you have the privilege of having a mom who's purposefully filling your mind with a counter narrative, of course you're gonna look at things differently. You know, but if you've never had that and you're just in that environment, and you know you're taught that you're an animal and that you're, you know, you don't have a father to guide you and all the rest of it, there's a lot of hopelessness. And I'll tell you what, man, when people start losing hope, that's why you'll hear dudes say, I got nothing to lose. Of course, you have a lot to lose. You have your freedom to lose, you have your life to lose, you have your future to lose. But if you already presuppose that you don't really have freedom, a life, or a future, then you're gonna do a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. A lot of self-destructive stuff. So.
Why are black people so apt to shoot other black people? Like, I feel like, now I could be wrong, but I feel like if white people were in that same situation, like let's say the tables turned, I don't see the white people turning on each other. But is it because of the system that's been set up and, you know?
Well, look, you know, there's been an argument that the term black on black crime is a racist phrase, and I'm not necessarily certain
why
that that's true. Well, because it implies that only black people are killing each other. Look, if you're white, the person that's most likely to kill you is another white person. So most murders happen regionally. It's not like people are gonna travel outside of their town to go kill somebody else. So if you're white, there's white on white crime, and the murder rates are pretty similar between white people killing white people and black people killing black people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's
ratio thing.
No, it's just regional. It makes sense. Like if you live in an area populated by white people and there's a murder, most likely the person that killed you is white. But we never talk about white on white crime. Like these like active shooters who are going around shooting a bunch of people. They usually is that an act of white on white crime? Why isn't it called white on white crime? Why is it only called black on black crime?
That's a good point.
Of course, the reason that I think that I understand people who are saying that that's a racist phrase, but the fact of the matter is, white people did not coin the term black on black crime. We did. Right. So it wasn't Farrakhan. It was the guy with the perm. It was Jesse Jackson and all those dudes that were saying.
Really?
So it's ridiculous to say that it's a racist thing. However, the idea that only black people are the only ones that kill their own race is a ridiculous idea.
Demonstrably untrue.
Yeah, it's just, you know, but if you talk about a group that is who is the most self-destructive group, or who is a group that rallies against their own interests, it's 100% black people by a mile.
Yeah, but you're saying it's more than just killing each other.
Well, yeah, it's the circumstances that create those types of situations in the first place.
What do you mean?
Well, I think the rampant fatherlessness in the black community is a major problem.
Well, yeah, you could trace that back to, you know, times of slavery where we separated families. And...
Yeah. And for me, look, prior to, the 60s, black families were essentially intact. And then you had the imposition of the welfare idea among black women. And so now black women no longer needed a man.
Yeah.
And so that really, you put that in there with the war on drugs and then the Clinton
Really?
Carter. Oh, yeah. So, all this, I don't need a man stuff. A lot of that was due to the fact that now you had the government coming in and replacing the guy. So usually there was a lot of social social contract of, hey, the guy's a jerk, but he provides. That was the whole thing about. It was a very, very kind of seminal play. I forgot the name. It was Denzel Washington. Fences. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the idea, is that you got the struggling black guy. He's a jerk. He's terrible. By all means, she should leave him. Mm-hmm. But he's a good provider.
Yep.
And so it was one of those things that kept the black family together. But then when you impose welfare and you don't need that, then I don't need a man. I'll just live off the state. Mm-hmm. And that's when you get the ratchet, the hood rat girl, yada, yada, yada. So there's a lot of fatherlessness in the black community. And to me, I don't really care about the root causes as far as historically what generated the problem. What I care about is, okay, it's like Farrakhan preaches about do for self. Mm-hmm. Stop looking at white people and blaming them for all your problems. Okay, you're in a bad situation. Be a man and take care of your kid. Mm-hmm. But you can even see here at the beginning of the song, there's all this sexual liberalism that happens here.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, all right, go for it, man. And you get the girl pregnant, and now you don't want to be a father.
Yeah.
So you're just perpetuating the cycle that created that situation anyway.
Well, I think that you're right. I don't think that black people should focus on the fact that, there was, what happened as far as, white people, separating families and stuff during the time of slavery. I don't think that that's helpful for black people to focus on. But I think that white people should not focus on it. I think that we should have an understanding that we participated in this issue and do what we can to help, remedy
Yeah,
it.
but how, they can't, a white person cannot help a black person not be a father. You gotta be a father.
No. I'm saying, instead of, looking back, throwing people in jail for, some weed. You weren't, if that was a predominant, let's say that just a bunch of
Shout
white
out
boys.
to President Trump for
Right.
reversing the Clintons' racist crime bill. Thank you, Mr. Biden. Go ahead.
If there was a bunch of, white boys that had gotten all hooked up on that, and, I don't see them saying, you know what, the only solution for this is if you have weed, you're going to jail. You know what I mean? But because...
Well, of course not. That's
what I'm saying. We have to
heroin,
recognize that that's what was happening, and then,
The heroin epidemic is being styled as a public health crisis.
Right.
The crack epidemic was not styled as a public health crisis. It was styled as a criminal crisis that needed swift and draconian measures for it. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that the purveyors and users of crack were black, so that's criminal, but the purveyors and users of heroin were white, so now it's a public health crisis. So I hear what you're saying, but to me, my knowledge of human nature, I go, well, of course, there were white people going to take care of each other, so they're not going to criminalize, stuff that their people are taking part in, because they want to perpetuate their progeny. And I look, from what I know of human nature, I can't blame white people for that. I mean, it makes sense to me. But for me, it's look, there are some real basic things that can be done to ensure that your children don't stay in poverty. The number one thing to make sure that your children are in poverty is to get married. And so until black leaders start promoting marriage and start making it cool to have a family and to have a legacy, and until we start glorifying black people who can do the basics and have a family, then you're not going to get anywhere. It wasn't white people that had more black abortions than live births in 2014 and 2015. It was black women that did that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how long are you gonna sit there and whine and bitch and moan and blame white people for problems that we can solve?
Well, no, that's what I said. I said I don't think that black people should do that, but at the same time, I don't think that white people should wash their hands of the situation that we have on our hands.
Yeah,
I
but
think
what
that
are
we
they
need to do
supposed
our
to?
part.
Well, what's white people's part in getting a black guy to take care of his own kids?
okay, you can't force the black guy to take care of his own kids, but you can care about his kids.
Okay, sure, they care about. I'm sure most white. Look, I'm sure if they would have ran into me at 8, 9 years old, and I was in a homeless shelter, I'm sure they'd have felt bad for me.
Felt bad.
All the people that were running the homeless shelters were white. To be honest with you, I see a lot of black folks running no homeless shelters in parts of New Jersey. So, okay, so then what? So they care, they feel bad for us. Okay, then what? What are they supposed to do? There's no black fathers around. What are they supposed to do?
No, I see the problem.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm literally asking, okay, what are white people supposed to do in response to the dereliction of duty that black men have?
Like I said, I don't think that we can fix that problem, but I think that, when a young boy gets shot for getting Skittles and bringing Skittles home, like, we shouldn't GoFundMe that guy.
Yeah, that's different. That's a completely different situation.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, all around,
that's not what this
there
song
should
is
be this
addressing.
idea that we're helping other people, we're helping these other kids. So let's say you, instead of calling them a thug, like, figure out, help out.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the middle of all that shit.
And what are you saying?
Here's the thing: you're saying instead of calling him a thug, but black folks have glorified the term thug.
Yeah.
So Tupac was the one that coined the term thug life and glorified thuggery, and now you got all these young black people that glorified thuggery.
Yeah.
And so thuggery became equivalent to masculinity, and gangsterism became, as a matter of fact, that's what we used to say. Da 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 da. This guy's testing my gangster. Well, he was testing our masculinity.
Yeah.
But because we have combined the concept of masculinity with gangsterism or thuggism, then how is it a white person's fault for saying, oh, these guys are thugs? Now look, when a lot of these white folks in the media call us thugs and we call ourselves thugs, that's
There's
completely
a difference.
There's a complete difference.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
okay, so a lot of these white media talking heads are racist as hell, don't know anything about us, and they're using the term thug as a replacement for the term nigger.
Mm-hmm.
But so when we say thug, we're saying I'm a masculine individual. When they say thug, they're saying nigger.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But the problem is, you were the one that first attached the name to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you coined the phrase, so, it's going to be open season. I don't really... To me, my thing is, this is the way that my mom raised me. It's like, look, these white people, they're racist as hell. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to do any of that. And you don't really have a dad to help you with whatever, so you're going to have to do for self. Mm-hmm. So that's when Farrakhan and all that other stuff came in. So that was kind of like my mindset. My mom did the best that she could to supplement the fact that I didn't have, any positive male role models.
Mm-hmm.
And, she did the best she could, but I had my own sort of, pride issues where when I got into that environment and people started to test you and whatever and all that, I got caught up in it, not because I love being a gangster and I glorified gangsterism, because I didn't. To this day I didn't.
Yeah.
But, that was, that was kind of where I was coming from. I just don't, I don't know, what white people are supposed to do. Like, the damage has already been done, but a good example would be a guy like Trump with the First Step Act, which is reversing, the Clintons and the Bidens' racist crime bill that was designed specifically to target black men. Great.
Yeah.
That's a good step, right? Like, okay, so shout out to Trump for that. Shout out to Kanye and Kim Kardashian and all the hoteps that were dissing Kanye. And we're disowning Kanye from the black community for daring to speak to the president. You idiots. You silly, silly people. But see, this is again the problem, is how manipulatable black folks are. And people talk about a black agenda. It's like, what exactly is the black agenda? Mm-hmm. Because we're so stupid. 97% of us voted for Barack Hussein Obama. He never campaigned. He never did anything. He never even pretended he was going to do anything.
Right, and you have people yelling about how racist Trump is, but right. Trump has done the most for the black community.
Correct. So, but this is what happens, is that, a lot of black folks are taken in by rhetoric. And, so because, Obama was great. He was a great rhetorician, and he had a symbolic, obviously him being the first black president was a symbolic sort of somehow victory for black people.
That was obvious.
Even though nothing was being done for our best interest to advance our agenda. Mm-hmm. So, I just have a hard time blaming white people for that type of situation. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my understanding of human nature is if the roles were reversed and you had a black majority and a white minority, then we would do the same thing to them. So why are we acting like,
I just think that everybody needs to do their part to fix the problem.
I don't think that your common white person can do anything to fix the problem. Because the problems have to do with us, and us honestly being in bed with the Democratic Party and making it so that they're just supposed to expect our vote. And, in this last election, mm-hmm. Black men kind of sat it out. We're like, nah, we're good. Mm-hmm. Black women voted in mass for Hillary, mm-hmm. But that was obviously a vote by ignorance, because that's obvious due to the fact that it was Hillary that we're calling young black boys super predators. Mm-hmm. So all these black women are voting for Hillary Clinton because somehow Trump is a racist. It's like his broad believes that your son is a super predator.
Right.
So, those to me are the issues, and look, those to me are the issues. It's like nobody ever holds us accountable, and the minute somebody tries to hold us accountable for our own bullshit, they immediately get called a coon. Or they were doing that to Kanye. They're going after Kanye, and the fact of the matter is he did something good.
He got stuff done.
He got something done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just to me, this is all madness. Like the political meandering and the insulting way that Democrats treat black people. But I don't expect them to treat us any differently, because we're not holding them accountable to treat us differently. So the song is a very, very good explication of what it's like. Mm-hmm. And the despair and the hopelessness that happens in the ghetto if you've never been given a counter narrative.
Right.
I'm grateful to my mom for giving me a counter narrative, and I never walked around feeling I was inferior to anybody. That's to this day. That's
I was gonna say
that's obvious.
I'm sure you can all see.
So, if anything,
people comment on it all the time.
If anything, my mom swung too much the other way. But I with my kids, I'd much rather them be the other way than the inferiority complexes that I saw all around with my peers. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So, it's a good song. It's a very, very good, like I said, an explication of the mindset. And what needs to be, like how you feel and how you think. What do you give the song?
What do you think it sounded? How is it sound-wise? To me, the sound, I wasn't really a fan. I can see lyrically how it's a good thing, but the video, it's not that good, I didn't think, and I didn't like the sound of it.
Well, I liked the video because it had that old school, like early 90s vibe of hip-hop.
Yeah.
When hip-hop was like fun before dudes started getting shot up and stuff.
I like the idea of the dance-off.
Yeah, like this is like the late 80s, early 90s type of hip-hop, which it's juxtaposed with all the negativity that you see in the lyrics. So it's a 9 for me.
It's 8 for me.
All right. Good song. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.
What a back, go dangerous, on that cat, go tracks man, hit it from the back, these ass up, bitch like me bang, Bruce over gate, we run that train, put that thing in her combos, only way you hang is where I knows, be where I say ain't no tropes, y'all niggas like y'all ain't like that, hang up with the double off, ain't your dash, for the